Hello, hello, hello. If you guys can see and hear me, give me a yes, give me a yes, give me a yes. If it's looking great, if you guys can see me, say hello, say hello. Is anyone there? Give me a yes, give me a yes. If it's looking fine. Who is there? Amy, how are you? Emilia, how are you? Who else is there? Hi, Anne, how are you? I'm not searching for my salmon. I'm right here. The salmon is in the freezer. Alicia, hello, Alicia. Hello, Afsane. How are you? How are you doing? Esra, how are you doing? Who else is there? Wow, 64 of us on today. This is going to be very exciting indeed. Who's finished work? Who's come home from work? And who's ready to have a good time? If you are, give me a one, give me a one, give me a one. Hi, Soban. Hi, Jade. How you doing, Jade? Nice to see your name pop up today as well. It's fantastic, guys. Great stuff. So who'd like to have a good time? Who'd like to have a good time? Give me a one, give me a one, give me a one. If you're ready to have a good time. If you're ready to learn about the MEP, we are going to cover veterinary medicines, which I guarantee will be in your exam. It's gonna be an exam, guys. Like it's just gonna be in your exam. I don't know what else to say, to be honest. Like it's just gonna be in there. So you might as well just learn it. So you can just learn what's on these slides basically, and you'll be okay. Fantastic. They always ask about this. Amy is not wrong there. They always ask about the MEP and they always ask about veterinary medicines because it's important. You are going to come across this in pharmacy, so you will be asked questions on veterinary medicines. Who's ready to get a move on with this webinar? If you are, give me a two, give me a two, give me a two, so I can go on to slide number two. Lots of twos, lots of twos. 95 of us, 98. What on earth is going on? It's quite strange. It's 98 people want to spend their evening right here. I think that's very, very cool. Give me a two if you can move forward. Give me a two, give me a two, give me a two. How are Subhan, Grace? How are you doing, Grace? Chemo, Misha, Yvette, how guys, if you can see and hear me, give me a one, give me a one, give me a one. It just sort of crashed there very briefly. I just want to make sure that it's actually all working fine before I go further forward. Just give me a one if you guys can see and hear me. Is it all working okay? Right, I'm back. Yeah, it just sort of froze there for a second. It just took me back a page by in error, but that's fine. That's great. Number two. So today's agenda, we'll be going through my exam predictions. So we see exam papers over the years. You can sort of start to work out what will be in the exam. I mean, that's not to say I haven't seen any papers, which I haven't, but they always like to ask the same sort of things. We'll then do a session on veterinary medicines. We'll talk about prescription requirements. We'll talk about labeling requirements and we will talk about duration of how long you need to keep a veterinary medicine prescription in your pharmacy for. That's the kinds of questions that the GPhC love. So it's very important that you do know your duration of. For example, a veterinary prescription has to be kept for how many years, guys? How many years do we need to keep a veterinary prescription in the pharmacy for? If you're not too sure, guys, give me a zero because you're about to learn something new. But if you are sure, give me your answer. So how long would we keep a veterinary prescription for? Badri has put down 5. Badri's at 5 days. Is it 5 weeks? Is it 5 months? Is it 5 years? It's 5 years. Other birds has put down 5 years. It's a very long time. It's a very long time, it's 5 years, but that's how long you need to keep it for. So I hope you've learned something new there. They love asking questions about durations. They just love it. And anyone who's done the exam already, I know that you'll testify that they just love asking durations. So please learn them. And we're about to learn some more going forward in this session as well. So who was my predictions? Who's going to come in the exam? Who was my predictions that was going to come up in the exam in the summer? If you do, give me a 3, give me a 3, give me a 3, because we're on slide number 3. We're on slide number 3. Give me a 3. Who else is there? 106 of us today. That is very, very cool indeed. So who wants to know what's going to come on the exam? Who wants to know what's going to come on the exam? Other Bertas bought 333,000, 333. I'm loving the energy. I am loving the energy indeed. Great stuff. So predictions, veterinary medicine's cascade will come up, veterinary prescriptions and the labelling requirements. So it's all in the MEP, but we're going to go through on the slides in the next few minutes. So veterinary prescriptions and labelling requirements will be in the MEP. They also really like to ask about the POM register. So in regards to veterinary medicines, you have requirements, and certain bits of information is legally required to be in the POM register, and the duration of keeping a veterinary prescription as well, which we've already discussed, is 5 years. So who is ready to learn a few new things? If you are, guys, give me a 5, give me a 5, give me a 5. We'll go on to slide number 5. Fantastic. So veterinary medicines, guys, they come under separate groups. Who's seen these groups? So you've got POM V, you've got POM VPS, and then you've got NFA VPS as well. If you guys have opened the BNF and you've seen these groups, guys, give me a 10, give me a 10, give me a 10. If you've not opened the MEP yet, give me a 0. If you've not opened the MEP yet, give me a 0. So you've got lots of different groups in terms of medicine. So you've got POM V, which is a POM prescription by the vet. So you get a prescription from the vet, and what happens is you can either get it in the vet or you can take it to a pharmacy. Your second group is POM VPS, so that is the prescription by the vet, and then the patient can then get the medicine from the vet or the pharmacy. It's only written if the prescriber and the supply isn't the same. So what I mean by that is that if you get a prescription from a vet and you want to take it elsewhere, then that's why it's POM VPS. NFA VPS is non-food animals. So non-food animals is animals that we don't eat. For example, fur animals or rodents. I don't think you want to be eating those kinds of things anytime soon. So that's a separate type of prescription as well. But those are in the at the vet itself, and a written prescription isn't required. AVM GSL, so that's an authorized veterinary medicine, and that's GSL. That's not when someone turns up and they say, my dog's got a cough, so can I get a cough syrup for my dog? That's not an AVM GSL. An AVM GSL is an authorized veterinary medicine. SAES is an unlicensed veterinary medicine, so it doesn't have any marketing authorizations required, but it does meet criteria in the veterinary medicines regulations. Unauthorized is veterinary medicine, so it's not SAES, but it is under the Cascade. The Cascade, which we will talk about in the coming slides. It's fantastic. You guys, if you're ready to move forward, if you learn something new, give me an 8, give me an 8, give me an 8, because we're going to move forward on to slide number 8. Let's get some tunes on. Let's get some tunes on. Tunes, tunes, tunes. Where are my tunes at? Where have my tunes gone? They were right here. They seem to have disappeared. Hello, hello, hello. If you guys can see and hear me, give me a 1, give me a 1, give me a 1. So I know that it's all looking great. Lots of ones, lots of ones, lots of ones. That's fantastic. Look at that, guys. That there is just stunning. Look at the state of that. I mean, that is a table right there. Everything is just in that table, and it's just nice and simplified. You can take a little screenshot off of that. You can sort of just take a screenshot of it, and that is everything that you need to know right there. Who wants more of these tables? If you do, give me a 2, give me a 2, give me a 2. So it becomes easy to learn from. Give me a 2, give me a 2. So there's a nice table there, and it has all the different types of POM medicines, and it has a short description next to it as well. I'm going to leave it on there for a few more seconds, then you can take a little screenshot and just have a look at it every now and again. Because veterinary medicines, it's very hard to learn, and there's a lot to it as well, especially if you don't see veterinary medicines too much in the working world. I mean, I've probably only seen one veterinary prescription in probably the last year, in all honesty, so it's not too often, and you can forget about it, but they will ask about it in the GPhC exam. If everyone's taking a screenshot, if you're okay to move forward, give me a 9, give me a 9, give me a 9. We will go on to slide number 9. Give me a 9 so you can move forward onto slide number 9. If you're low in this webinar so far, if you want me to do more MEP webinars, please subscribe to this channel and like this video as well, and we will certainly get that done for you. Jade's put down my pharmacy gets a few, but with 3 minutes from a vet. 3 minutes from a vet, so you're very close to a vet, so they get a prescription and they just sort of turn up, don't they? Sarah H has put down, what does VPS mean? So a VPS is a veterinary prescriber. Can everyone still hear me? If you can, guys, give me a 1, give me a 1, give me a 1 if you guys can still hear me. Is it all working fine? It's just sort of echoing a little bit in my ear at the moment. Right, that's working good. That's great. I've just got an echo in my ear, so I'll just have to suffer with that for the rest of this session. But as long as everyone here can hear me fine, then I am good with that. So prescription requirements for POMV and VPS and supplied under the Cascade. Who wants 3 marks? If you want 3 marks, guys, give me a 1, give me a 1, give me a 1. This will come up in your exam. It's just going to come up in your exam. I don't know what else to say, really. Like, you just learn it, you'll get the mark. You don't learn it, you just won't. It is what it is. So if you want some 3 marks, give me a 1, give me a 1, give me a 1. Boom. Prescription requirements. So you need the name, the address, and the telephone number of the prescriber. You need the qualification, and the vet needs to sign the prescription as well. You need the name and the address of the owner, and then you need the identification and species of the animal as well, and the address if it's different. So if someone's got a dog and we'll call it a cockapoo. Someone's got a cockapoo and they're not well. Well, they need to have the owner's details and owner's address. And if it's a different address, I need to have the address of where the dog lives as well. This is a tricky one. This is interesting. So if you're more of a dog person, give me a 1, give me a 1, give me a 1. If you're more of a cat person, give me a 2, give me a 2, give me a 2. I've always found that it's always one way or the other, and it's never normally both. So if you're a dog person, give me a 1. If you're a cat person, give me a 2. This will be very, very interesting to see. I am more of a dog person, I think. I don't have pets, but I think if I did have a pet, I would probably get a dog. This is fantastic. So Miss put down 2, Hayas put down 2, other Bert has put down dogs all the way, Badri has put down neither. I like that as well. Jade, Sumita, your vet's put down 0, Misha put down a 1 as well. It's fantastic. Love dogs, likewise. We need to have the date on the prescription as well, so the same as an FP10 prescription. So how long is an FP10 prescription valid for, guys? How long is it valid for? How long is it valid for? Is it 1 month? Is it 10 months? Is it 2 years? They will ask that in exam, by the way, as well, because I keep saying it, they love asking about durations in that exam. So how long is an FP10 prescription valid for in the number of months? 6 months. So Mita, Tesha, Misha, Hayajan, Berta, Somto, Romana. Sophia, 6 months, definitely 6 months. 28 days if it's scheduled, or 2 or 3 controlled group, but that is for a separate webinar entirely. Name, quantity, dose, and administrations has to be on the prescription as well, and any necessary warnings. There's a lot to a veterinary prescription, and there's a lot to learn as well. That's the last part right there. So a veterinary prescription needs to state that it's been prescribed under the Veterinary Cascade. If it's a Schedule 2 or a 3 controlled drug, then it needs to say has been prescribed for an animal or herd under care of vet. So it has to say that, guys. It has to say so it has to say prescribed under the Veterinary Cascade on a veterinary prescription. Veterinary Cascade. That's fantastic. So that's 10 things, guys, that are legally required on a veterinary prescription. If you learn something new there, give me a 10, give me a 10, give me a 10. If you can move forward, give me a 10, give me a 10. Who wants another table? Give me a 10, give me a 10. Lots of tables to make things easy for you to digest and to learn from as well. It's fantastic. Look at that, that's another stone right there. So take a screenshot of that, guys. I'll move my face out of the way, take another screenshot off of that. And that is everything that you need to know to learn the prescription requirements for a veterinary medicine as well. That is fantastic, guys. That is great stuff. What do I mean by 89? Where have I put down 89? Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord for tables. Right, so is that missing? Let me make that a bit bigger. Is that working now, guys? Can you see it now? Because I can't see the comments. You see, if you can see that now, guys, if you can see 10 points in that table, then give me a 10, give me a 10, give me a 10. Yeah, I'll make it bigger again, so then you can actually all see it. Good stuff. So bullet point number 9 for Letitia M. If Schedule 2 or 3. So basically, if it's for a veterinary prescription and if it's for a Schedule 2 or 3 controlled drug, then the prescription needs to say that it's prescribed for an animal or herd under the care of the vet. 8 points, 8 and 9 are separate. So point A is prescribed under the Veterinary Cascade, so that has to be on a prescription. Point 9 says that if it's a Schedule 2 or 3 controlled drug, then it needs to say for prescribed for an animal or herd under the care of the vet. So take a screenshot of that and all will be well. If you can move forward, guys, give me a 10, give me a 10, give me a 10, lots of 10s, lots of 10s, lots of 10s. Lots of 10. Let's get some more tunes on. Lots of tunes, lots of tunes, lots of tunes. Rima has asked a very, very good question indeed. So I'll load it up for everyone. In the GPhC exam, are questions about the MEP asked in the clinical paper, and would they be questions we need to apply to scenarios? So yes and yes. MEP questions will be in the clinical part of the question. MEP questions are mostly medium weighted, but it's also a very important book. I would probably say if you're working in a community pharmacy, I would probably say the MEP is almost as important as the BNF in the community pharmacy world. It is a very, very important document. It really, really is. Will there be a replay video on YouTube? Certainly will be. And so if you want to get cracking with the evening, I will see you shortly. Maybe I'll see you Wednesday in the free webinar. So but yeah, there will definitely be a replay video as well. Hi, Jan has asked me how long do we need to spend revising the MEP, please? It's hard to say how long one person should spend revising anything, but I would cover the most common things that you would come across in a community pharmacy and then see where it takes you. Fantastic. Great stuff. If you guys are okay to move on to line number 14, give me a 14, give me a 14, give me a 14. So now it's all working great. So I know that it's all working. Boom, Nima's okay to move forward. Teja, how are you? Or the Berta, how are G, Badria, Anne, Afifa, Jade, Emilia. Hi, let's go on to slide number 14. So there's differences between the legal requirements for a veterinary prescription and a usual FPN. So the additional needs to be added. So I'll show you a difference. So there's a few things that we have to have on a veterinary prescription. So I'll show you right now in the next slide. So that's a difference. That's what you need to know for sure. So point number 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. These are the requirements in addition to a normal prescription. So basically, the best way to learn this is to learn the prescription requirements for an FP10 for a normal prescription. And then after that, you need to learn the additional 6 points as well. And that way you'll learn it much easier. Because if you're trying to learn the whole thing in one go, it's a lot to take in. So learn learn the first, learn the FP10 requirements first, and then learn the veterinary prescription requirements thereafter. If that makes sense, guys, give me a 1, give me a 1, give me a 1. If you find this useful, if you find it easy to learn from, give me a 1, give me a 1, give me a 1. If it's all working great, give me a 1. If you're having a good time, please like this video and please subscribe to the channel as well. And you'll get a lot more in the coming weeks and months as we start to get more and more serious about our exam revision. Lots of ones, guys, so it's all working great. FP10 requirements first, then the veterinary prescription requirements on top of that. That is fantastic, guys. That is fantastic. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. We've got twice the audience that we had compared to the calculation seminar. So this is very, very cool indeed. So we will definitely be doing more of these in the coming weeks and months. That's fantastic. Prescription requirements. So a veterinary prescription is 5 years. So you have to keep it for 5 years. 5 years, very, very important. 28-day supply. So 28-day supply, that is good practice. That is not a legal requirement, but it's good practice to supply 28 days. So for a Schedule 2 or a 3 control drug, it is not a standardized form, but the prescription does need to say prescribed for treatment of an animal or herd under my care. So if it's a Schedule 2 or 3 control drug, it has to say that on the prescription, otherwise it's not legal. Now, is everyone starting to understand why the MEP is so important? Because you will see veterinary prescriptions in the workplace, and sometimes they don't have these things written on. So you need to know the veterinary prescription requirements and then make sure that the prescriptions that you check off are actually legal. If you're having a good time so far, give me a 17, give me a 17, give me a 17. We'll go on to slide number 17. 5 years, guys. If you think veterinary prescription, just think of 5. Just think of 5, basically. Just think of 5 animals. So you've got cats, dogs, birds, polar bears, parrots or something. And you got 5. Like you got 5 things, and then you just remember that it's 5. Like it's 5 years for veterinary prescriptions to keep them. It's as simple as that. Fantastic. Slide number 17. So what is the veterinary cascade? So the cascade is basically to do with the supply of medicines. It is in an order. So basically what you want to do is you want to supply a licensed medicines first, but unfortunately that's not always possible. So a cascade has been made to be followed, and that is responsibility of the prescribing vet. Can you prescribe chemo? That's a good question. Can you prescribe a schedule 2 and 3 on a veterinary prescription for more than 28 days? You certainly can, but that's not for us. That is for a prescriber, because if it's 28 days, then they need to justify it. It's fantastic. Badria is that's fantastic. And Badria's put down the cascade is a legislative provision in the VMR, which is the veterinary medicine regulations that allows a veterinary surgeon to prescribe unauthorized medicines that would not otherwise be permitted. Does records need to be kept of the veterinary CDRX? If not, on standard S4. If it's a Schedule 2 control drug, then you would technically be recording it in the CD register, but that will be covered on the free webinar, which is going to take place, I believe, on the 26th of January. If you've registered for the free webinars, give me a 1, give me a 1, give me a 1, give me a 1 if registered. If you haven't and you want more information, guys, give me a 0, give me a 0, give me a 0. So we have almost 500 registered on this Wednesday's session, which is a lot because I have to place a 300 limit. So the first 300 on Wednesday will get in. Who is looking forward to Wednesday? Who is looking forward to Wednesday? Who is looking forward to Wednesday? Zubaydah's put down in the CD register, do you say person supplied is the owner? You'd probably put down the supplied as the owner and then put in brackets the animal's name as well, just for the sake of completion, really. That's fantastic. Sarah Bork, I will post the webinar registration link at the end. Marvin, if you're there hiding in the background, please do it for me. It would be a big, big help so Sarah can get registered. I can't wait for Wednesday either. I am really, really looking forward to it as well. So the order of medicines is a licensed veterinary medicine which has a Great Britain or a UK-wide marketing authorization. So a medicine that has a UK-wide marketing authorization. And then after that, if that's not possible, then you'd go on to point number 2, which is a licensed medicine with a Northern Ireland wide marketing authorization. If that's still not possible, then you have to give a medicine that's marked that has been authorized, but it's for another species or a different condition. So that's point number 3. And by that point, it normally is okay. But if it's still not okay, then it's a licensed human medicine for the animal. And if that's still not possible, then it's an extemporaneous medicine or it's a special item that has to be specifically made and then be ordered in. So that's changed from post-Brexit, but that is the most up-to-date version. So that is what you need to know. If someone's learned something new there, if that's now easy to understand, give me a 4, give me a 4, give me a 4, because you've got 4 separate points to learn there. I've just noticed I have a slight spelling error in there, or grammatical error, because I put down 3 twice, so it should be 5 things actually. But if you learn something new there, give me a 5, give me a 5, give me a 5, lots of 5s, lots of 5s, lots of 5s. Let's get some more tunes. Where are my tunes? Tune. Boom, let's move forward on to slide number 20. So sale of unauthorized veterinary medicines. So it's unlawful to supply medicines, GSLs and pharmacy medicines for animals, unless this is under the cascade. So basically what happens is that even if the vet says go to your pharmacy and buy it, we're not allowed to. So if someone turns up and say, my dog's got a cough, or my dog's got this, or my dog's got that, you sadly can't, You just can't. Has anyone experienced that in community pharmacy so far? If you have, let me know. If you have, give me a 5, give me a 5, give me a 5. Just realize if you started in July, you'll be 6 months into your training year. I mean, where does this time go, guys? It just disappears. It's just disappeared, hasn't it? I hope what's happened. I hope you've learned a lot, and I hope you're having a good time doing it as well. I know it's stressful, but things will definitely get better. Things will definitely get better. So you will see veterinary medicines. You will have requests from patients that want to buy medicines for their animals, and now you know what to do. But yeah, so my pharmacist just told me to give me it. It's a saline water. Yeah, swings and roundabouts really, but that's fantastic. But pharmacy medicines and G cell medicines, we are not allowed to. Label requirements of this will also be in your exam. So if you want some free marks, guys, give me a 10, give me a 10, give me a 10. If you want some free marks, give me a 10. So I'm just handing stuff out here basically. I'm just saying just have this, just have that, and then just have that, and then that on top, and then my headphones, my keys, what's this, some napkins, and then this book on top. I'm just giving you free stuff basically. It's just right there. Like I'm just giving you free stuff. So if you want free marks, give me a 10, give me a 10, give me a 10. Sarah, the link is right there to register for the free webinar on Wednesday. It is not to be missed. I have an announcement at the end of this session as well. Number one, the name of the prescribing veterinary surgeon, so that has to be on the prescription. Name and the address of the owner, name and the address of the pharmacy, which is automatically on the label anyway, but it is a legal requirement. So identification and the species of the animal, Bob the cockapoo, for example, the date of the supply, so which day you gave it on, and the expiry date of the medicine, and the name and the description of the medicine as well, the dose and the administration, so how to give or how to take instructions as well. So that's 8 things so far. Necessary warnings for the user. The label has to have for animal treatment, also has to have keep out of reach of children. And if it's not Cascade, then it's not needed, but it is recommended. Cyrus put down, is this required for any veterinary prescription? Yes, it certainly is. So unless it's not under the Cascade, it's not recommended, it's not needed, but it is recommended. So basically, those are the label requirements for every veterinary prescription that you do get. It can take some time, and sometimes has anyone labeled the veterinary prescription so far? If you have, give me a 1, give me a 1, give me a 1. It goes on for like 3 or 4 labels sometimes, very, very long labels, because there's a lot of information that you need to put on there and need to take a time and make sure that everything is on there. So has anyone seen a veterinary prescription label so far? If you have, give me a 1, give me a 1, give me a 1. Samin079 has seen a veterinary prescription label, and as has Banana Poo, Jade, Alicia, and Yvette. And Marvin's put down a link for Wednesday's free webinar. So it's right there, guys. So it's right there. Desmopressin for a dog took up lots of labels. It does take up a lot of labels. It really, really does. But you need to know that for the exam, because there's a very good chance it might come up in the exam. It's fantastic. Who's having a good time, guys? If you are, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe. If you're learning something new today, if you are, give me a 5, give me a 5, give me a 5. Lots of 5s, so I know that as well, learn something new. Lots of 5s, lots of 5s, lots of 5s. Record keeping requirements for veterinary medicines. There is also a chance this will come up. As always, what you need to learn is the prescription, so the recording requirements for a private prescription, and then on top of that, learn what else is needed for a veterinary prescription as well. Because if you do it in 2 separate steps, then it will make it easier for you to learn. So record keeping requirements for a veterinary medicine: the name of the medicine you need, the date of receipt and supply as well, and the batch number of the medicine you have to take down as well, how much we give, and the name and the address of who we gave it to as well. That is fantastic. That's 5 things so far. You can keep that electronically, so it can be on the PMR, or you can write it down. Some companies, depending on who you work for, will want you to do both, because if you have a PMR, then that technically counts as it being recorded electronically. But sometimes other companies will want you to write it down as well. 5 years, guys. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. If this comes up in the exam in the summer, how many years is it, guys? How many years do we need to keep the prescription for? How many years do we need to keep the record for? How many years, guys? If it comes in the exam, if it comes in the exam now and someone gets it wrong, I will not be a happy person, because I don't know how many times I need to say 5. 5 years, 5 years, guys, 5 years. And we need to keep the prescription for 5 years as well. We need to keep the prescription for 5 years as well. Just 5 years, basically. Just 5 years. I hope it's in there enough now. You'll be having nightmares in the exam. If it comes up now, you'll be thinking, he went on and on and on. 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. But if you get it right, then you get 1 mark, and that's all we want. Fantastic. Let's move forward. Wow. Crazy. That's the end. Good stuff, guys. If you learned something new, if you had a good time, I did. Give me a 10, give me a 10, give me a 10. So, guys, that is the end of today's session. Please register to our calculation series. You'll be getting an email shortly. It might be going to your junk. It's just the one. It's just the one link. So if you click on it once and register, then it will register you for all the sessions. We have another announcement as well. So basically, you know, who was there last Wednesday? We had a raffle. 2 members, 2 trainee pharmacists won access to our course starting in Feb. So that's a standard now. So it was only one as a one-off, but we're going to be doing that every week. So come on Wednesday, be there on Wednesday, stay through the whole session. At the end, it's going to be a raffle, and 2 of us will be joining me and Marvin in February for free, because you will win. Registration link is attached on the YouTube video as well. When you register, you're going to get a link as a confirmation. Just click on that around 8 o'clock and you'll be able to join us. That's fantastic. Great stuff. Guys, today has been amazing. I hope you found this session useful. There'll be more to follow. This Wednesday, we'll be covering calculations, and then Marvin will have his high risk Thursdays. That will make a return. And then next week, we will have MEP, and then we will have our bonus session as well. That is very, very cool. So thank you, Shiva. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Afifa. And to Nima. Nima, how are you? And to other Berta and to Misha as well. It's been really nice meeting you all. I hope you found this webinar useful, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.